The old coot here, coming back at you with another exciting video. Okay, so it's come to this. I'm in drive, stopped at a stop sign, and if you notice, every once in a while, see my idle like fluctuates. That is, I've come to find out, the sign of a bad battery. And the way I know that is I tested it, and basically it's not holding a charge. So basically there's like a little piece of paper on the printout that comes out of the battery tester. Like if you go to AutoZone, Pep Boys, that kind of vibe. What happens is see how the idle just goes whoop and it drops. I thought it might have been like a clogged, fuel filter or something. I thought it might have been the computer. So we did all that stuff. We disconnected the battery. We waited 10 minutes, reconnected the battery, found out that even by resetting the car's computer, I still had this idle issue. And I was like, what's going on? Coil pack's totally fine. The spark plugs were totally fine. So if you're experiencing a similar situation, this is for entertainment purposes only. Take this advice with a grain of salt, but you may want to go to your local mechanic or whatever auto parts store and have them check your battery. If you notice in the video I posted, I think 2 or 3 videos back or something like that, my idle was even a little bit higher. So as time goes on, after the last like 4 or 5 days, it's just been getting lower and lower and lower. Eventually it's going to die. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off my car because I don't want it to completely die out before I have a chance to go to a mechanic or whatever, or an auto parts store to replace the battery. But anyways, those are the not so subtle, right, signs, or maybe subtle signs of like a dying battery that's basically not holding its charge. Another thing is if you do have a clock, sometimes what you'll notice is like, so the correct time is, let's say 8 a.m., right? You wake up in the morning, you start your car, but the clock's showing 7:59, like it's running slow. That might be another sign of like that your battery is starting to go out. So definitely check it. What can happen if you don't replace the battery before it's due or before you're done? What'll happen is it may put a lot of strain onto your starter, right? So a bad battery could lead to a bad starter, which is not a good thing. It could also cause an undue amount of strain to the entire electrical system. So when it's time to replace, go ahead and replace it. Anyways, I had a Champion, I think it was a Champion battery in there that I bought like during the COVID years, 2020. The warranty was for 4 years. It definitely lasted me 4.5-ish years, I guess. But it's definitely time to replace. I understand now, I don't know if Champion makes that same battery anymore, but what I'll probably do is, this is just me, just my scenario, not a recommendation or anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to replace it with a Duralast, which is now back in, full stock and all that after the COVID shortages and all that stuff. Anyways, hope this video out there does help someone. Like I said, just running through the checklist of things that we did on my buddy's car here. What we ended up doing was we did a full like seafoam treatment, the fuel tank, we did the throttle body, we did the intake, we did all that stuff. That didn't fix the idle. Then what we did was we tried to reset the ECU, right, the computer of the car. I pulled out the 2 fuses. Basically then that didn't work. So then what I did was I disconnected the battery for 10 minutes, turned the headlights on to completely drain out whatever electricity was left in the ECU and also in the car, reconnected the battery. That didn't work. Then my buddy drove around a little bit more, about another week or so, and then he was noticing that when the car was hot, when the engine was hot, the car had been running for a while, like an hour all day, that kind of thing. He noticed that his idle just kept getting lower and lower and lower, and he was getting these like bumps, right? Like the car would run, so then in drive, stopped at a stoplight, it would just go boop, where the idle would fluctuate. It's basically trying to catch itself from dying. So that we came to conclude was the result of a battery that wouldn't hold a charge. So anyways, I hope this video out there helps someone. Make sure to diagnose your car correctly. Bring it to the dealership if you have to. Do whatever you got to do. Anyways, I'm the old coot. There will be some links down below in the description section, also down there in the comment section, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video.